just got off the trails, and today we rode the Jamis Dakar XCT bike. I kind of thought this bike had a little bit of an identity crisis. It, to me, seemed more like an all-mountain bike than an XC bike.
It did.
130 mil, full suspension. It definitely rode more like an all-mountain bike.
Yeah. The rear suspension was definitely more plush on the downhills. I felt I could not climb this thing.
I struggled with climbing too. I liked it on the descents. I thought it performed really well on some of those like rock ledges, little drop-offs. Like definitely confidence inspiring on those, but it just felt sluggish climbing.
It did, but at the same time, some of the other bikes that we were testing were carbon fiber hardtails, a lot of hardtails, bikes that are just their main characteristic is their zippiness. So what did this bike have that those bikes didn't?
Right.
Well, 130 millimeters, 27.5, right? So it does kind of blur the line a little bit, which is why I liked it, because I thought it climbed really well, yeah, maybe it felt like maybe it was a bit more of a horsepower climbing bike. It just it's not fast, but I felt like it really pedaled well as well. Okay, like you way out comparing it to some bikes that are in the same class, obviously, right?
Right.
The hardtails and whatnot, but I liked how it climbed. I liked how it descended, and I liked how it pedaled in the flat also.
But if you're looking for an XC bike,
Yeah.
I'm not sure this would be what you'd spend. I mean, it's a $6,000 bike. So would that be the best use of your money if you're looking for an XC? To me, it was more of an all-mountain trail bike.
I would take this on some pretty rowdy trails for sure, and feel pretty okay about it. Absolutely.
Well, and maybe this is where we kind of get into that problem with the bike industry, where we've carved every
who's calling it an XC bike is my question. Like, where did it get pigeonholed into XC?
Right. And at a certain point,
is Jamis calling it an XC bike?
It's called an XCT.
What does the T stand for?
That's a good point.
Trail, maybe?
Trail.
XC and trail?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you sort of take it for what it is. You're obviously not going to buy that bike without researching what it is.
Yeah.
And whether it fits what you're looking for in a bike.
And so you're thinking, just because it's the company Jamis, which has traditionally been known for more affordable bikes, right? Are we thinking that potentially? That $6,000 is too much to spend on
$6,000 is a lot of money.
I just felt like looking at the package, a carbon fiber frame, it's spec'd really well.
Yeah.
And I think I just thought it would ride better than I felt like it did.
But is that...
Could have been the geometry.
Right.
Just, it could have been my personal fit on it.
Well, what they did is a little bit wonky, is that they have a lot of rides in the stem bar combo. Right. So that leaves you with a pretty high handlebar height. I dropped it all the way down onto the headset,
which I did not do.
And I have then a lot more seat post protrusion than you do. So then it felt pretty good to me. But potentially that was some of what was going on for you guys. Like for a medium-sized bike, they need to actually get that handlebar a little bit lower.
I definitely
For the average height of someone riding a medium and where that seat protrusion is going to be, that cockpit needs to be a little bit lower, for sure.
But there was a lot I liked about it. Like I said, I think the spec is really good on it for the money. I think you get good parts. It's tubeless ready. I think the tire they picked was good.
Yeah,
the width was good. So I mean, there's definitely a lot going for the bike.
Yeah. So why? It's like I don't understand. Why do you think that you guys didn't like how it pedaled and I did? What's the difference?
So in my opinion, if you're dropping $6,000 on a bike, you should love everything about it. And what I think we're seeing here is that some people, if you're going into it looking for something that's a little bit more zippy, and maybe you're okay with sacrificing a bit on the downhill, maybe that's not where your $6,000 should go. But maybe if your version of a cross-country trail is a little bit more ledgy, if it is a little bit more rooty, if maybe it's not a lot of steep climbs, maybe this can be your $6,000 bike where you don't have any qualms with it.
Yeah,
but I
definitely.
do wonder how much of it is part of that when you, by labeling all these different niches of mountain biking,
Right.
you do start to set up this expectation that XC means insanely light and it means insanely zippy.
So it seems like what we're doing here is we're trying to suss out exactly where this bike fits, right? And if we want to put it into a category, let's put it into the trail bike all mountain category. And then let's think about then how it would perform in that category. Because decided maybe it doesn't really fit in the XC category.
Right.
Although I feel like it almost blurs the line kind of nice. Like I felt like it was fast enough.
We need another niche between XC and trail.
Totally.
But that's what the bike
That's
industry
what
needs, is
we
another bloody
need.
niche, right?
More
It's perfect.
segmentation. More segmentation.
We
There's
could call
not
it
enough.
XC Trail.
Oh, you mean like XCT? Oh, bingo.
Niche.
Right? So, would you go and ride it then all mountain?
Definitely, because that
Absolutely,
was
right?
where I felt best on it, was when I
Yes.
was going down things that were definitely a little bit hairy.
Yeah.
But if it's a $6,000 trail bike, XC Trail all mountain bald bike, why doesn't it come with a dropper post?
For 6,000 quid, excuse me, dollars,
American, thank you.
that absolutely should come with a dropper post at that price point.
Yeah.
I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think maybe that is something that.
But is there anything
there.
else that's missing at that price point?
Um,
Everything else seemed pretty complete.
I feel like if this was another brand, right, that $6,000 wouldn't have seemed so far fetched. Like we kind of keep coming back to
there's a stigma?
6,000. I think there's a bit of a stigma here.
Or again, more of an expectation that,
Potentially, yeah.
of bringing these features down to a more affordable $4,000
Yes, everything should be $4,000.
everything, because $4,000 is cheap.
I still climbing. I didn't like when I had the suspension fully open. I felt like there was a lot of kind of pedal bob. It didn't really feel very efficient to me. Regardless of what the use of the bike is, I'm still going to want it to climb pretty well, even if it's an all mountain. But like I said, I really like descending on it, and I think it's very subjective, right? That could have just been the way I had it set up, or my specific fit on that geometry, or that suspension platform.
We all rode the medium, which it all fit us pretty well, but we definitely pushed the edges of that medium, from me being on the smaller side, you being more in the middle, and then you certainly being on the taller side, which completely changes the way that your weight is sitting on it.
Yeah.
So it definitely seems like it's a good bike to get out and give a few rides on, because obviously you can fall anywhere around it. You can love it.
Yeah.
It can not be your favorite.
I liked it. I really did. Aesthetically, I don't love the shock placement. I mean, it's sort of, we're looking at the bike and how the shock is placed on there. Aesthetically, the bike doesn't have to be beautiful, obviously. I mean, it helps, I think, don't you think? I mean, you have to like the way the bike looks. So I'm looking at this bike, and I have $6,000. And I've ridden it, and I'm like, do I scratch my head? And I go, well, the shock is kind of, I don't know. And do I love that? No.
You need it to match your flannel. Absolutely. It has to.
Flannel or camo. I mean, we could go either or. But it wouldn't stop me from buying the bike.
No.
But it's something that I don't love about it. And it's like, if I'm trying to find something I didn't love about the bike, the only thing I could find was the aesthetic top placement.
And a Porsche. Yeah.
That's really it. Well, and the bar and stem combination, which I didn't love either. Other than that, I liked it.
Nice.
Okay.